All right, keep that applause going for Kelly. Come on, go crazy. There she is. Hello.
Hey. I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania, and then I went to art school in Philadelphia. And when I graduated, I thought I was going to take the art world by storm, but instead I just got one crappy job after another. And the most interesting one was it was the sleaziest strip bar in Philadelphia. It was called All in the Family, and it was run by this old Italian guy named Tony. They said he was in the mafia, which I guess was the reason for the name. I don't. But he'd come in these velour tracksuits, like dragging an oxygen tank that he would breathe into, and his younger girlfriend was one of the dancers, and by younger I mean like in her 50s. She didn't strip. She would just wear like bathing suits and like the pantyhose and sequin jackets. She used a tambourine, and there was this like this big trans bartender named Tina, talk like that. It was like working in a David Lynch film, and which I liked, but it did start to wear on me after a year or two, and so was the weather. We had like this bad winter where it was just snowstorm after snowstorm. We had like 5 feet snow, and I was just like, what? Why am I still here? Like, I don't have to live here. I said I should go somewhere warm, get permanent refuge from the storm. But so I was like, I'll move to Miami because I'd never been to there, but it looked good in the movies. So I was saving up, and I told this guy that I met in the bar one night that I was moving. He was like, Florida, there's bugs down there. You shouldn't go. He was from LA, and he was like, you should go to LA. And and then he invited me to New York City. He said, I'm staying with my buddy Keanu at his place, and it's really awesome in the middle of everything. And so I called in sick to work. I went to New York City for a few days, and the apartment was actually a dump. It was like a 6-floor walk up. The toilet was in the hall, shared with the other places. And there was a Polaroid I noticed on the refrigerator of a familiar face. I said, who is that? And he said, oh, that's my buddy that owns this place. I was like, Keanu Reeves? Like, you didn't mention it, and this was the late 90s when Keanu Reeves was like a huge, huge star at that point, I was just like, wait a minute, like Speed, Matrix, and all he can afford is this shithole? And he was like, well, it was his first place in New York, he's sentimental. And I was like, all right, Keanu's keeping it real. But so we had a great time, and he was like, seriously, you should come out to LA. So I did, and it was amazing. Like, I loved it here, these hills, the trees, the flowers, the Hollywood. It made Philadelphia seem like purgatory. And I got to meet Keanu Reeves. We went out, we went to a hockey game, then to this dinner, and there was a whole bunch of people, and we were on this long table, and he was sitting across from me. I was trying to play it cool, like, yeah, sure. And I was introduced, and he goes, so Kelly. Sorry, I can't do the voice. He goes, are you in LA for business or pleasure? And I, brilliant response, I don't know, both. So it was kind of an expensive place. I was nervous about the money I was spending on the trip, and Keanu gets this huge steak dinner, and I guess he saw me eyeing it, and so he says, Kelly, do you want a bite of this steak? I was like, yeah. And so he cuts me a bite and feeds it to me across the table, like with his fork. I was just like, I'm moving to LA, like, for sure. And so next day I was like apartment hunting and everything. I found a place, and so I headed back to Philadelphia, and I'm on the plane. I got a window seat. I'm sad to go, but I'm so excited because I'm coming back in a month or two. And so I'm like looking out over the palm trees and the beach, and we're going out over the water, and we just keep going, and I'm just like, oh my God, we're going the wrong way. We're going the wrong way, like we're going out over the ocean, and I'm panicking. I'm looking around. Everybody else is normal. I'm just like, how did I get on the wrong plane? And this was before 9/11, so it seemed, I don't know. I'm always getting lost. It seemed like something I could have done. I was going to call a stewardess, but like they're not going to turn around for me. I'm like, and there's an Asian guy on the aisle seat, so I'm like, maybe we're going to China or Japan. I don't know. I'm just like, just breathe. It's going to be okay. Wherever you end up, you'll have just like a nice day in Hong Kong or whatever, and you just put a return ticket on the credit card, and it's all going to be okay. You're going to be all right. And then the plane just starts making a curve and does this U-turn, and I'm sure if many of you have taking LAX somewhere east. They do this whole U-turn thing over the ocean for the wind currents or something. Why don't they announce that? I mean, anyway, I made it home. I moved to LA. Been here ever since, and I love this. I still love it here. People who say, I hate LA, what the hell, come on. Anyway, and I thank Keanu and that steak. I never saw him again, but at least I'm not in Florida, so thank you.